On today's episode of Locked On Cubs, we discuss a thrilling and shocking Cubs win to even up the series and set up a rubber match for today's game against the Cardinals. We talk about the great Pat Hughes finally getting inducted into the Cubs Hall of Fame, and we preview the 2023 schedule. So come on in.
Our Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Cubs alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Pleased to be with you for a Thursday episode as the Cubs crushed the Cardinals on Wednesday night. A lot to go over from this game. It was an enjoyable evening on the north side. And really it went from a slow news day to a quick one or two.
Come on, celebrate.
I'm trying to do the intro.
Yeah, we don't need it. It was a huge win today.
It was a huge night.
I mean, it was just riveting.
It was. It just, it proved to be one of the best nights of the season.
Easily.
Not even close, right?
This guy, Will Ferrell, came out.
Come on, man.
And threw the ball, like he was Juan Marichal. I mean, I didn't think they were going to win today. I thought it could get ugly. Let's talk about the game quickly. Give credit to Ferrell. For real, Luke Ferrell did an outstanding job. Great work by Hoyer and Ross. Obviously, they saw something in the scouting that maybe thought that he would match up well with these hitters. He gave up 1 run in 4 1/3 inning. Another great start. Wick comes in a little early. That was a bit odd. Was able to get through it. And shout out to Yadier Molina, who anytime there's a big spot, he comes up for the Cardinals. I feel fantastic about the Cubs' chances. His OPS, by the way, is now slipped below 500. That's basically a single A. It's basically a single A hitter. Mark Leiter Jr. was really solid, and then Brandon Hughes came in still of a semi-high leverage spot and struck out the side and was showcasing some fantastic stuff. A huge homer from Zach McKinstry tonight. I mean, what were your thoughts about this baseball game?
Yeah, I was enthralled from really the opening pitch. I thought Luke Ferrell was great in a pinch for the Cubs. You score 3 runs in the second inning and you never look back. It was led off by Horner, then Wisdom walked. You had the weird grounder by Gomes. You had the Velasquez double off the wall. McKinstry drove in a run via ground ball, and they were off and running from there. There was a couple tense moments, a couple tense jams there, but Luke Ferrell did a nice job. Obviously, Rowan Wick in the 5th is a surprising sight, and it was comical to me at first, but he bared down and did real well, and the rest of the pen took it from there, and then they even added on in the process with some insurance runs. So. Really good things for the guys in the blue pinstripes, and I wasn't writing this game off. I'm not going to say that a major league team conceded a major league game, but it was hard to see a path to the Cubs winning, and this just goes to show that baseball, you never know.
I actually liked when Ross went to Wick in the 5th inning because. Farrell had just given up a homer to Newt Barrows, his first time, the 3rd time through the order. So then you had the middle of the order, albeit not Arenado because he got ejected and Goldschmidt wasn't playing.
Right.
But, sometimes high leverage spots come early.
Yeah.
And I think Ross, and I'm not just saying it because it was results based. I said it when I was watching the game, Ross felt like, hey, maybe we'll add on a little bit later, but we can't lose the lead right here. And then he had Leiter set up. I actually thought Leiter was going to go more than an inning. He only went 1, and then Hughes was great. And then guess what? If you were saving Wick for the 9th, you didn't even need him because the Cubs added on. So it was actually a really well done job by everybody involved. It was one of the best games of the year. Nico Horner snaps out of that. By the way, Boog's wrong. He said 1 for 25. It was 0. He did not have a hit.
Yeah. So an offer.
I did the game logs.
Okay.
And he had 3 today, so I'm pretty psyched about that. And you know what, Matt? I mean, Stroman v. Dakota Hudson is not something that we can't go out tomorrow at 1:20 Central Standard and take our 6th straight series and win 3 out of 5. We probably won't,
I'm not
but
afraid at all, though.
it's well, yeah. I'm not afraid of no. I got bigger fish to fry than that. But I mean, could you imagine if they win this series? I mean, St. Louis is playing some of the best baseball in all the land.
I can't imagine it, and it sounds really good.
Yeah, so I'll have to find a way to make sure I catch every pitch of that baseball game tomorrow,
Same here.
Even though it's an afternoon slot on a weekday, and then we travel to Milwaukee.
Well, yeah, we'll visit that for Friday's show.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Screw
those
them.
guys up there, but
Yeah,
yeah, you know, a lot of right.
we don't like Milwaukee on this show, folks.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of rival matchups this week, but that's what makes it fun. You know, even in a season like this, and it's one of the best wins of the campaign. You know, later in the show, we're going to talk about the 2023 campaign and break down and analyze the entire schedule. But the moments right now, even the small moments game to game, you know, there's still things to take away. And it's just, it's so interesting to me that, you know, I actually called you at, you know, several hours ago now. And I was wondering about the show. I was like, I don't know. We're kind of in a grind right now, and it seems like the dog days, and it just became a huge news night.
Tonight might be the best show of the year.
Yeah. It's just it's real exciting, and you know, I just think it proves that the Cubs do have pieces. Because I'm not going to dismiss what the Cardinals are doing. I know you're not either, Sam, but the fact is that they're really good. I think they're going to win the division running away, honestly, because the Brewers have a terrible lineup.
And they trail 10-2 as we speak in Los Angeles.
So 10-2. So, yeah, it was a touchdown and a field goal. But, yeah, I don't know. I just had fun watching it. I did a lot of blend of radio and TV tonight, unknowingly that, you know, Pat Hughes was going to be named to the Hall of Fame
which we'll
for
talk
the team.
about.
But, yeah, it was good from start to finish.
Can I just I'll close out this real quick. I just want to say this. I know I'm going to sound like an old head here. And I am extremely open to the analytics of the game of baseball. I'm not anti-analytic, okay?
Yeah.
But Rafael Ortega bunting in that situation, to me, was one of the biggest plays of the game. And I know people, the analytics are going to roll their eyes because if he didn't bunt, there's a good chance he grounds into a double play and that inning never happens.
Right.
I'd like to see a little more of that, especially from him. They give him the whole left side, you know, especially, I mean, this Cubs team right now is not hitting the ball out of the ballpark. When's the last time the Cubs hit a home run? Off the top of your head, just off the top of your head, when's the last home run?
Top of my head, last home run was Wilson Contreras on Saturday.
Yeah, or Suzuki on Sunday would be mine. So it's been a while.
Okay.
You know, it's Thursday.
Right.
So, you know, just a little more small ball.
I missed the Ortega single for the bunt single in my recap there. Yeah, that was huge.
Huge.
That was so big. And the team needed that right there, and he needs to do that because he's in a big funk.
And then it just goes from there. Gomes hits a little fruit, a small grounder, weak grounder, and then he
Velasquez mashes.
He beats it out. Then you get the one big hit by Velasquez. McKinstry, just some basic situational hitting. You look up, you're up a field goal.
Right. And throughout the game, you had benchmarks that you sent me, and they hit all of them.
Yeah, no, I had a good game tonight.
Yeah, well, right. I agree. 3 runs in the second, first to 5. Okay, the Cubs got to 5, and so those were 2 big ones right there. Pat Hughes,
baby. Yeah,
living legend, was named to the Cubs Hall of Fame. I am so excited to talk about this, Sam, and we do that next. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. You're hanging out with some friends and putting back a few drinks. A few becomes a few too many. As the evening comes to an end and people start to head out, you think of calling for a ride. Nah, you say, you live nearby, you can make it home okay. It's no big deal. What are the odds you'll get pulled over anyway? And even so, what's the worst that can happen? Your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you lose your job, maybe you total your car. What if you kill someone? Everyone knows the risks of drunk driving. The results are tragic and often deadly. However, that still doesn't stop everyone from getting behind the wheel while under the influence. That's why police officers are out there right now looking for impaired drivers on our roads to save lives. So, if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Play it safe and plan ahead to get a ride. It only takes one mistake to change your life or someone else's forever. Drive sober or get pulled over. We're back here on Locked On Cubs, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. First listen every day.
Boom.
And of course, we're on YouTube with the video version as well.
Share it. Share it with a friend. Share it with a friend. Tell people about us, even if you don't like us.
You're doing a load of laundry? Put us on. You washing some dishes? Put us on. You're going for a walk? Put us on.
You're watching this baseball team? Put us on.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Come on, now.
I have a softball league tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
I play it in my softball league tomorrow.
So on your way to the game, put us on.
First game. I'm going to go 2 for 4, 2 singles, couple groundouts. I'm going to make an error in the outfield. Let's talk about Pat Hughes.
Along with Buck O'Neil and Jose Cardinals, Pat Hughes is being inducted into the Cubs Hall of Fame on September 10th. Hughes is a living legend, having done radio play-by-play for the team for decades. We actually talked about it already in this slate of shows this week, Sam, about just him as a broadcaster and being in your car, windows down, listening to the radio, maybe even going to sleep to Pat Hughes and some West Coast games, and just growing up with the same radio voice all these years. And it's truly a great moment for him and well-deserved. And the Cubs actually just launched their Hall of Fame in 2021. It's still very new. But for him to be one of the first groupings of people, it's extremely appropriate.
And it will not be long until he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right.
And it'll be more than well deserved. I texted you while they screened over to Kenny and Hughes in the TV thing. I knew that was what was happening.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
It's just was really oddly presented by Crane Kenny. Like I thought he.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. It was very clunky.
Yeah, it was very clunky. Like just do it.
Especially for a huge moment.
Yeah, right. But Pat Hughes, I thought he handled it just like Pat Hughes would. He kept calling the game.
That's true.
I personally, and obviously there's bias here because I listen to him a lot. I think Pat Hughes, like to me, Vin Scully is the end all be all when you're talking about baseball broadcasters.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, like Pat Hughes, it gives me that same comfort. He gives me that same value. He's so good. His cadences are so good. And we've been listening to him now for so long. I think he started with the Cubs in '96. So basically as long as I can remember back from.
Right.
You know when one's going to be gone when you're driving. You know when one's going to be caught. Fly ball, yeah, it's playable. Like it's just the little stuff.
Yep.
He is as good as I've ever heard. The voice of the Cubs, everything that we've talked about, soothing, relaxing, smooth. I mean, he's really, really good. Yeah, he's really, really good. He's really, really deserved. And, it was a cool night.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, he's actually showed a bit of he showed versatility the last couple of years
with the
going
TV
over
stuff.
to the TV side.
Yeah, he's better than Boog,
which is interesting. And when they went to the simulcast today, I was like, oh, I actually thought of the bingo card. It became a much bigger moment than I realized, which was a nice surprise. But I thought the Ron Coomer signing was really good by this organization, and aided by 670 the score. But This team has been really good. That Pat Hughes called the Cubs winning the World Series. I know he told reporters at Wrigley tonight that was his biggest moment as a play-by-player. Which isn't a surprise.
Sure.
Winning the biggest trophy of them all, but it's very cool. I do think he'll win the Frick Award at some point and make the baseball HOF and get to Cooperstown. And he just seems like not seems. We know he's very sentimental. He appreciates the moment, and I think over the years I've been drawn to people like that, especially. And he seems like, I know we were talking about this over the weekend. He seems like he's going to be here a while.
I hope so.
Right?
To your point about Coomer, it's so obvious that they have a friendship.
Yeah.
Like they're they not only they have great chemistry, but they really, really like each other, which I think is really cool. And yeah, man, Pat Hughes just seems like a great guy. I told you, on my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
A couple of years ago, my mom and my stepdad set up a cameo.
Yeah.
And he gave me like the coolest cameo. He's like, "Happy birthday!" Hopefully, maybe I can find it one day and play it.
Yeah, we'll try to do that.
He was like, "Happy birthday! The Cubs won the World Series on your birthday." I mean, it was like a 2-3 minute thing. It was insane.
That's wild.
So yeah, no, he's always been. I think he's one of those guys that has a unique ability. There's not many of these guys around in anything, whether it's music, entertainment, acting, or sports, that you feel is just kind of a part of you, right? So, like for example, in the cozy household, like Pat Hughes on a Saturday afternoon is just going to be a part of that day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
it's just a part. It's just a part of your daily routine. If my dad, my dad picks me up on a Friday night when I was 11 years old, 12 years old at a movie or something with a friend, and it's 11 o'clock and the Cubs are playing in LA, Pat Hughes is going to take us home. You know what I'm saying?
That's the soundtrack to your summer.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way you could describe it.
Playing in cozy garages across the nation. I had a thought today that I'm going to share with you off the air. I'll tell it sometime on the air, but I have Pat Hughes' successor, though, predicted when he does leave.
I hope it's not the person you texted me today.
No.
Okay.
No. His initials are LK.
Oh,
We're going to close out this episode with some 2023 schedule breakdown next. All right, Sam. We are in the midst of the 2022 season. Yeah.
Casper left the Cubs and was thinking he was going to have this big title window with the Sox. We're going to win a title again before they do.
I know.
And he might be on the call 670 with Pat.
Yeah.
Little 3-man booth.
Let's get that going.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, the 2023 schedule was released on Wednesday. Of course, that's a very unique setup as every team is going to play the 29 other teams for the first time in a long time in Major League Baseball. Sam has a lot of thoughts. He perused the schedule and more today.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a lot of thoughts as well. Maybe I should go first.
You go first, Matthew.
Okay. So what I did was I knew you were going to fill in the middle for us. So I zoomed in on the beginning and the end, and then also the home game opportunities at Wrigley against AL teams that wouldn't otherwise show up in Chicago.
Right.
So to start the campaign, I think it's a really favorable schedule. You open up with the Brewers, then you go to the Reds, then you'll take us from there in a minute. I'm really excited to see Jacob deGrom, early in that season. I'm just going to pepper free agent players in this.
Sure.
I I do think the Braves and Brewers to close it out is tough, but that's obviously a while away.
Yeah.
Disappointed that even with this new schedule, the White Sox series, plural, is not on the weekend. Okay, I think that's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
Home games against the AL, I'm intrigued by all of these series because the franchises and the markets
Yeah.
vary a lot.
Hmm.
Rangers, Mariners, Rays, Orioles, Guardians, Red Sox, and Royals, in addition to the W Sox, obviously. That's very intriguing. And the other thing is just that, and I know it's all been announced already, but the Cubs are going to be in London. That's going to be at the Cardinals because that's their away games, June 24th and 25th. And did you know that Pittsburgh, where the Cubs are going to be before going to London, Pittsburgh to London, only 7 hours, by the way, not very long at all. And just kind of establishing that the Cubs are still this high profile schedule draw. You know, they had that Little League World Series game in Williamsport in 2019. They did the Field of Dreams game this year, and then they're going across the pond in 2023. The Cubs have a big place in this sport, and I really don't see that changing. I'm really excited to hear what you think.
1972. Nah, I'm just joking. Yeah, a couple of things for me. Just
I
on a
think
real,
they're going to be 9-3 to open the year. I think Brandon Nimmo is going to have a great first 12 games.
a couple of things that stick out, like opening up at home against Milwaukee. Same thing as last year. Take advantage of that weather, indoor team, see what happens. Go to Cincinnati. The Texas Seattle homestand in April, especially Texas, really nice advantage there. You go straight to LA. You only have to play 3 at LA. You get LA for 4 at home, which is nice because the last 2 years we've had to play 4 in LA. That hasn't gone well. They've only won one of those baseball games. Like getting LA done in April, get them checked off before they get rolling. Um, not too many gauntlets over the course of the schedule. There's a 10-game road trip to begin June on the West Coast in San Diego. Angels and Giants. That'll be something where 4 and 6 will be a par. We'll be thrilled with that. Anything better would be nice. They got to go to Houston. That's not easy in May, but overall, it's kind of cool. I really like the new schedule format. I think it's going to suit the Cubs well. And it's nice not to play teams that just know your every move, every series. And I think it's going to be exciting. I think this year, I'm already excited about next year's team. There's going to be a lot to be excited about. Wait till the winter meetings in December, and you're going to find it all here on Locked On Cubs.
Absolutely, yeah. And I just think that Carlos Correa at third base he's not gonna mess around to open the year. He's gonna set the tone for the season. Right. And the Cubs are gonna have one of the best left side of the infields in the league.
Yeah, I don't think they would be able to convince Correa to play third, but I hear you.
Okay. All right. Any other scheduled notes before we head out?
No scheduled notes, but only thing I would say is just what? What are you laughing at? I haven't even delivered it yet.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm starting to feel like a joke on this show.
No.
Hey, start to feel it, folks. Okay. Reminds me a little bit of the end of 14. I know not as many people are up. I get it. Things are starting to happen here. Okay. By the way, too, and I know it's easy to say because they're winning. I'm starting to see a couple of things from Ross that are slightly improving as well, which I'll highlight on a different time because we talk about this team a lot. Enjoy it. Find a way during work today if you're listening. 120 still. Stroman. No, seriously, it's a big start for Stroman because this is kind
He's
of
been bad during the day, hasn't he?
He says he doesn't like pitching during the day. This is a big start. This is a big game for the Cubs. I mean, relatively so. I mean, in hindsight, it doesn't matter at all. But you get a chance to win 3 of 5 for the Cardinals and take your 6th straight series here. It's a big baseball game. Watch it, lock in, see if Horner could stay hot. And Dakota Hudson may leave one of those sinkers belt high to Suzuki, and somebody down Kenmore Ave is going to get knocked off their bicycle. Let's go. What's the weather like tomorrow? It's supposed to be hot?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to rain in the morning, kind of cool off for the rest of the day, but it should be dry on the north side.
Keep the ball in the park.
Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button on all your favorite Locked On Cubs content, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Remember, you can drop us a text, 312-834-4634. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast, where Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. A lot going on with the Cubs, and we have it all covered for you here with Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Locked On Cubs.